Vai tev ir sajūta, ka tu esi vienīgais gejs ciemā, un tu nevari atklāti par to runāt? Vai tu esi vienīgā geja brālis, māsa, mamma, tētis, labākais draugs vai kolēģis, bet nezini, kas ko kā? Neuztraucies, tu neesi viens. Tu esi viens no mums. Es esmu Annija Zeihmane.
Un es esmu Katrīna Berga, un šis ir podkāsts Viens no mums, kurā mēs runāsim ar LGBT kopienas pārstāvjiem par viņu stāstiem un pieredzi.
Welcome to the podcast One of Us. Usually we're doing this in Latvian, but this time we have a special guest, so this episode will be in English. I hope you don't mind. Today our guest is the founder and leader of Active Rainbow organization, Cathy Manousaki. Hi, Cathy.
Hello, sveiki.
Hey.
Labdien.
So, first things first, how do you identify?
I use they, she pronouns and I identify as a queer non-binary person. After a very long personal journey, I finally found my own identification. Yeah, and I'm very happy and proud about it.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where are you from, and how long have you lived in Riga, and why did you move here?
I love this question. Somehow it always pops up. I'm originally from Greece. I was raised and grew up in the southwest city of Europe called Ierapetra. It's in this big island called Creta. I don't know if you know. It's where we have all the good beaches and everything. So when I say to people I'm from Greece, and then they ask, oh, where? And I saw them a bit pictures of like, hey, this is how my place looks. They're all like, why are you here in Latvia? Like, what are you doing here? I moved here. I first was here in Latvia in 2014 for Christmas holidays with my ex-partner, fiancé. There are many labels there. And a few years after, we ended up moving here in Latvia in 2016. So I could say that love brought me here to Latvia, and love also inspires me to stay more here. Well, love for my current partner, but also love for the community here in the country. That's what brought me here. There is more background in the story, but I don't know if you're interested in it also. You know?
Wait, so you're from the island Crete?
Yes.
My cat's name is Crete.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I named her that when I was 11 because that was my goal to visit that.
Wow. Have you been there yet?
No, I haven't been
now
there
you
yet.
can go. You know me. I can host you.
I would love to.
Definitely. You just have to let me know when I'm also there, because usually I'm not there, but we can make it happen.
We should.
Love it. So beautiful.
Okay, so you're from Greece. How is the situation there regarding LGBT rights and society's attitude towards queer people?
Society, I would say it's improving and progressing through the years, but overall in Greece we lack also a lot of education, and in our society there's a lot of patriarchy going on, and this type of period. In the last 2 years, we also see more femicides that are happening and a lot of hate crimes. Since 2018, it's still 4 years now since the murder of one of the famous activists and drag queens in the country. And why I mention it also is because the court, like the
Justice system.
Yeah, in the justice system now it's still like progressing to sentence the people who actually did it, and they did it in front of the whole public, like in the middle of the street.
It was kind of like a public execution?
Yes, it was. And I was actually it happened that I was in Athens on that day that it happened, 21st of September. A few streets
a few blocks away.
And also this has been one of the collective traumas currently in the community. And why I mention it, because the rhetorics and the hate speech going on online, and people like not understanding the LGBTQ plus community, and of course, going a lot through the standards, man, woman, and in Greece we're very religious. We have this Christian Orthodox, and the church is like super, like majority of it. They're like, you should spit on queer people and all kind of things. So there are things that are happening in the community through these collective traumas is coming together towards different actions. We do have the civil union since December 2015, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, also like it's not that things are moving as much faster as we would like. And then I'm also here in Latvia, and here I can observe other type of situations or like problematics in a way. But I would say the situation is progressing, is quite bad in terms of people and their lives and the patriarchy. But the community, in a way, it comes stronger also through these traumas. Yeah,
definitely.
But the same-sex marriage is not allowed, or is it?
No, not yet. Because of religion in church, it's still this stereotype of like a man and woman. And now, these days, there have been some movement because I'm still checking on the news, and they're trying to start putting it there, like, hey, what about the same-sex marriage? And at least in the municipality. But the church is still like, no, Jesus loves everybody, but somehow you should not love queer people, which is such a nonsense, to be honest. But yeah, I have respect on people who have faith, and I can respect people who have like their religion beliefs and so on. But how can you believe on something that minimizes my dignity or my human existence in a way? I find this a bit problematic. Not a bit, a lot.
The same kind of problem is present in Latvia too. I mean, we're not that religious. Like technically, like the government is not involved with religion, but practically it is.
I think you're quite lucky, and that's something I really enjoy here in Latvia, that religion doesn't come in the queer talks, because in Greece, church and our government is like one. It's like they're best friends or like buddies who go to sauna together. So I'm not like, So they have a lot of power for no reason, actually.
Well, for historical reasons, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, when I said for no reason, I already thought, oh yeah, history of Greece. If I look back to it, I also studied it, so I'm like, yeah. But thank you for pointing out. Like historically, yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, we are in 2022. Yeah.
And talking about your personal experience growing up there, how old were you when you started to realize you were queer?
I like this question a lot, and I was also thinking about it because I don't think I have a concrete time, but I recall myself back in the days when we could rent DVDs, and I could rent, I think by mistake, I rented Imagine Me and You movie, and then I was seeing this movie and seeing the two women kissing, and I was like, ooh, that's so nice, and I like it, and so on. So I think I started realizing that something is off, not off, but like something is different when I was in my teenage years. But I also think since I was a kid, I think I knew already about my gender identity, but I didn't have any words or means how to define it or explain it. And I also grew up in a place where I had no references. So I had no other LGBT people around me. All my friends were like straight, and it was all about men, like boys and girls, and ooh, which boy do you like? And I would always find myself, yeah. Ooh. Very late I realized I liked boys for different reasons. But yeah, then mainly I was like, okay, this is what's happening when I actually left Crete and I was at university, away from the home and a bit getting some new references, and I said, okay, I like girls, and yeah, it's nice.
Where did you go to university?
I went to another city called Patra. And also, in a way, love brought me there. I realized also a bit late that I had this type of sisterhood relationship with one person. So basically, we were doing everything apart from kissing or having sex. And after some conflict or something, I realized, I was actually most likely in love with this person. And that was also one of the biggest hit, like, okay, yeah, I'm more attracted like to people who identify as women. So that was like very interesting. But Patra is also like the third biggest city, so it allowed me more to be more free also with myself and being away from my family. Though I was with my brother, but that didn't stop me, so that was good.
And was it hard for you to accept yourself?
At first, yes, because it took me quite many years to understand what's going on, and I felt very lonely in this process. And my immediate response was to watch TV series or movies, and I could find myself liking these or identifying with the feelings or what was going on. But yeah, it took me quite some years. First for me is the coming out to myself and overcoming my own inner, not homophobia, it was more like inner fears about myself and, okay, am I normal, am I not normal? So going through all these, I think, typical questions for queer people, because we grow up with very standard heteronormative values or references, so it was a bit like, okay, how can I connect? And I needed to find people to listen to their stories also and see, okay, what's going on.
Who was the first person you came out to, and how did that go?
I would like to say it was myself. I was coming out to myself. But if we talk about other person, I remember clearly I was in Patra at my friend's house, and it was me and two other friends. And we were sitting, and one friend was talking about boys, and like her relationship and so on. And then one was, somehow the question came to me, but how come you don't talk about boys? And I was like, well, maybe this is the moment. So I felt safe with these two university friends with whom we're still also friends now. And it's very funny also. And I said like, hey, yeah, I think I like girls. Like Katy Perry's song, I kissed a girl and I liked it. But yeah, briefly, I think before that there was a moment I had shared it already with one of my friends. But yeah. That was the moment that I clearly have still to this day. Like, hey, I told it, and that was it.
And how did they react?
Well, I think they were like super happy. No, not a thing. I remember them being like, yeah, but it makes sense, and we kind of knew all along. And I think one of my friends said, but what made you stop and not tell us, actually? Like as if it's actually, yeah, you like them, yeah, why didn't you tell us, Which I understand where the question comes from, but for a queer person, I was like, well, yeah, there are some reasons. So, yeah, I'm very happy because my friends, all of them have been very accepting, and it was more like, yeah, we kind of knew. So, yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, it does make sense.
And did you tell your parents? Do they know?
Yes, my parents learned a bit in another weird way. I kind of manipulated it. No, my parents learned in 2014, actually. No, in 2013. So a few years after. Because it was so hard for me to tell to my parents also what they will think and everything. Of course, this type of fear. But it happened that I had my first relationship. And of course it didn't work out. We had a breakup, it became toxic, but I did this thing that I think some more queer people do, that you bring your partner in your house as a friend. Yeah, I see your laugh. I think we all do that. No, I mean, I think you also might have experiences. But I did this, and it was also, I was kind of not demanding, but like, hey, like, of course we're going to sleep in the same bed with my casual friend, but my mom, I think she already understood, like, okay, something is going on. Both because I was never talking about relationship or love with her, but also because, I was like, I will sleep with her in the same bed. But a few weeks after the breakup came, and I was completely hit the rock bottom, because this relationship became quite toxic in a way that, I ended up not loving myself and not loving who I am and not feeling free and so on. So I had some very strong moments, and I even tried to go to a psychologist and tell my problems, but that didn't work. And then, funny story, I was with one of my good friends who helped me a lot to understand who I am and what's going on with my sexuality. And we were eating pancakes, actually, in Athens. And she was like, you know what, I think you need family love. I think you need that conditional love. And I was like, okay, yeah, I need that. I was just crying all the way. And I just bought a ticket. I went in the boat. And I go there in the house, and of course I didn't even want to go back to the same room, in my room, where we were sleeping just a few weeks ago. And one thing led to another, and my mom understood what was going on. So she asked me directly, and I could not tell her. So I was like, yeah, we were in a relationship, blah, blah, blah. And it surprised me. Her reaction was more like, whew, okay, whew. Well, for us, the most important thing is that you're not sad, that you are not hurt and stuff. I was like, wow, okay, that's new. My dad, he's not the type of really talking a lot or speaking, but we did have one of the strong moments where he also opened up about his life and things I didn't know, and my mom doesn't even know. But that was also the last time we talked with my dad about me being queer, so directly. So it was a positive reaction, but of course it became with many questions after. Maybe just a phase and all these type of things.
All the typical parent things.
Yeah. So it took some time for them to fully
digest it.
Embrace it, and digest it. Yeah.
But are they religious?
Yes and no. My mom is loyal to my grandma, who used to be a lot religious. I'm really working on her not really going to the church, but they're way more open-minded than grandparents or something like usually grandparents are not, because they're still from the old mindset. Yeah, short story.
Okay, and when and how did you decide to be publicly out and get involved in activism?
That was exactly after this breakup, actually. That's what I like to call that from heritage I went into action. Because for me, not loving myself was like the most hurtful thing I was doing to myself. And I also supported myself. I was going for some personal development trainings, and those helped me way more to reconnect with myself, with my values, with what I believe. So because back then when I went to the psychologist to deal with it, like I felt like I need to do something. It didn't work for me back then to just talk about it. I needed to do something more tangible. And yeah, in few more months, I graduated, and then I decided to just pack my bag and just go on a trip around Europe and visit some friends. And I was going through different trainings and different programs. I got myself inspired around other people. I was also working a lot and discovering my feminine side, which for many years I was not so much connected to. And all this really brought me closer to loving myself and getting out contracts for myself. So connecting a lot with my purpose and my destiny in a way in life. And what brought me to start was I wanted to start making visible this type of topics, at least to my immediate community. So I started doing random things just for the picture, most of them. So I was like, I was in Zagreb and we were in the Pride. And I'm like, I'm going to paint my face as a rainbow just because I like it and because I want a picture. And then I'm like, some posts starting popping up, I am an active rainbow or something, and I could sense people liking it and commenting like, woo, good for you, blah, blah, blah. Not that I was coming out publicly, but it was more like to sense the vibe, you know. And I was already involved in non-formal learning through Erasmus Plus projects, and then I went in the Netherlands. I did my long-term volunteering there, and there I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to devote myself in youth work and work with the LGBTQ plus community, and my activism will happen through non-formal learning. So that's my type. I'm happy with it. I really enjoy it. It's fun. So yeah, and then we brought this also to Latvia. Yeah.
So this is the time when we are adding a new segment to our podcast, a quiz question.
All right.
I will read it to you, give you multiple choice answers, and you guess the right one.
Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
So, which was the first country in the world to allow same-sex marriage? A. Netherlands. B. Canada. C. Belgium.
Netherlands. 2001.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Annie sent me this question and the answers, and I was like, "Is it the Netherlands?" She was like, "Yes." I was like, "Oh, phew, okay, okay, I'm good. I know the LGBT stuff."
You even knew the year.
Yeah, I mean, we've done so many projects in the Netherlands, so it always pops up.
I told you that it's gonna be an easy question.
I'm glad, actually.
For the next person, we should pick a harder one.
We will.
If it was something about Latvia, maybe I would be more confused. But
what year did Latvia change the satversme, which is like the
Constitution?
Constitution, yeah. In like to not support LGBT rights.
To not support?
Yeah. Before it was like marriages like marriages between two people and children and blah blah blah, and now it says marriages between a woman and a man, and families just with children and so on and so on.
Yeah, it's also what Dzives Beatrice is about, and we're trying now to get it back on track. We're following the whole thing and we're promoting it also. And I even have I don't remember the year. What was it? Recently in 2010, more upper, or 1994 or 2005 now?
Yes, it was 2005.
2005 was my first thought, but I remember 2005 being also the Riga. No, the first Pride. Yes,
yeah, it happened right after.
Yeah, maybe because of it.
Probably.
Okay. You see, I should listen my intuition more. My intuition knows things. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Now, tell us a little bit more about Active Rainbow. How did you start it, and how did it grow to become an international organization?
Yes. I'm always trying to tell this in the short version. I think you might have noticed I really like to talk, like sharing. There's a lot to share in the story. But Active Rainbow started during this trip I was just referring to from... for me, some things like how I get inspired is usually from very random things. So I was imagining somehow, what if the world was like, I'm very much into colors, so I believe that everybody has their own color in their soul and all kind of things, and we all have rainbow in our hearts. And I was imagining, what if this rainbow was in the whole world, and then we were active and so on and so on. So I started a lot as at first as a life sentence for myself, like as my life contract, that I am an active rainbow, and by being an active rainbow, I want to create 1, 2, 3. And then by going in the Netherlands to do my long-term volunteering, and I went there with a statement, I want to educate myself more into being a trainer and a youth worker. And it started actually as a photographic project, so I was taking pictures of the volunteers there to show more or less the beauty that each one of us has, and that we're all diverse and we have similarities and all kind of things, and we can all coexist and have our human rights and so on. So I did my first youth exchange, and then what I wanted was to be able to offer more opportunities for other young people Because before that, I could not find any type of LGBTQ plus related program. So I was like, I see there is a lot of need and a lot of it is missing. And I'm a person who I have many different qualities, but then I thought like, the target group I want to work with is the one that is closest to me. So then Active Rainbow started becoming more and more bigger. I learned how to write my first Erasmus Plus project, which was quite a process actually. Looking back how I write projects now, back to then, I'm still surprised how I ever got my first project approved in the Netherlands. I was like, oh, okay. Because I was being offered an opportunity to learn and grow as an educator, as a youth worker working with a topic. And mainly I learned also about the topic from the people themselves. So I was very good at non-formal learning. I like to think I am. And then what I did, I brought the community together. So they were learning from each other during these projects, and I was learning also from them. And between 2015 and 2018, we did 7 projects just in the Netherlands with the same organization called Atveda Foundation, which is for me, it's like my second home, because I realized I spent almost all my 20s there growing up. Which is kind of a bit a lot when you're in your 30s. Now I am in my 30s. I'm like, okay. And then in 2019, I decided to, let's bring it outside. Let's do more projects all around. So we did in Greece, we did in Spain, in Slovenia. In Latvia, we did out in the open, which was a training course educating youth workers how to use outdoors with the LGBT community, which was very fun. And then through this, some more people joined. And in 2020, we decided, let's make Active Rainbow the first organization here, because we also reached the limit of, we have been self-organizing ourselves so far all these years, and we have been doing the projects through other organizations, but we're gonna get much more power. Not power. That sounds so wrong. We're gonna get much more opportunities also if we be on paper finally. I was trying a lot to avoid being on paper. To be honest, it's so much paperwork, but So that's how it started, also more like as an international part. And that's why we still call it Active Rainbow Platform. And then we also have its first organization. Because for the platform, I am the founder of it, because it started from me, then my ex-partner, who is my best friend, family, all kind of different things. We were also engaged. Woohoo, there's a big story there. She's actually the visual master of Active Rainbow. If we look cool, it's because of her. She's doing all the graphic design stuff and photography and video. And then we met our third colleague, who is now also part of the board of Active Rainbow, Anastasia, during the projects in 2019. And the three of us were now like the main board at this moment of Active Rainbow. So we are the co-founders of the organization. But I do find important to make this separation, so to honor also the history of the platform itself, but also the new chapter that we have opened here in beautiful Latvian community. Really like your country, by the way.
Thank you.
Labi, saule.
Okay, so you moved to Latvia because of personal reasons, but then you decided to take this organization with you. So what does Active Rainbow do in Latvia?
Yeah, well, we do all kind of the same things that we were doing before. We work a lot also with Erasmus Plus projects. So these are funded opportunities from the European Commission. So actually, because of pandemic and the lockdowns, we were not able to organize these big international projects yet here in Latvia. But we're very happy. We have 3 already granted, and we're very happy also to receive the support from the national agency here in Latvia, the Januatnes Agendura. I always forget the third word. Do you remember? You remember the name? Januatnes Agendura par starptautisko.
Kaut kāda starptautiska jauniešu aģentūra. Es nezinu, kas tas ir.
Yeah. Labi.
I just know I know a different
Let's just call it the national agency of Latvia, because I keep writing it all the time in the social media, and then the third word I always have struggled to. I hope they don't mind, but we're very thankful because we have 2 youth exchanges that we're going to be doing. One this year already, Come Out and Play, and also a training course called Elevate Youth Work. And both are aiming and targeting LGBTQ plus people and youth also. So this is like in the international level, the one part. Then we also, most likely, we will be happy to host our first international volunteers. So bringing people here in Latvia to see how the situation is here, get to experience Latvian culture and all kind of things. And most likely next year we will be able to host also volunteers to support with the Riga Pride, if all goes well. Then international level, we also have we are part of different networks around Europe, and we're also we are in a way leading this informal network of organizations. We have created it. And we are partners in different European projects where we can send also our young people abroad, so through Erasmus Youth Exchanges or training courses. And these are all high-quality projects. We are very strict on with whom we become partners. Strict, that sounds a bit like high school, but it's more like we are very selective to connect with partners that we know from before personally, and we know that they also put their own value, because for us it's not just, let's just do project for fun, but it's more like, hey, let's just do project and grow through them, have fun, and then bring these results back to Latvia. So then people can go in European projects and come back to Latvia here in the community and share these things also with the rest of the community here. And then the more they can connect and so on and so on. And then we also do a lot of local things. So in local things, we have some regular events. We have this openly queer mic, which is all about storytelling, stand-up comedy, poetry, music. People just you know how an open mic works. I don't know if you have been in one of them already, or
no, I haven't.
Not yet.
You once had it in Authentica, and
Yes.
I was working there at the time, so I was there when it happened, but I didn't hear everything that.
Maybe that's actually where I remember you from. You're very from. Yeah, maybe you were behind the bar or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you brought me my drink or something, though I don't drink.
That could be possible.
Cool. Yeah, we're very sad Authentica doesn't work actually anymore, because it was our place, and now we have a bit of a hard time to find a place. There was also the lockdown, and then online it becomes a different type of event. So we're a bit like, I don't know if you have any suggestions for a new venue. Please let us know, because we are actually searching actively. We would like to do a new open mic now in April. Could be outdoors if the weather is good.
Are you okay with outdoors?
If weather is good, could be fun. You have some. I see in your eyes. Oh, your eyes are sparkling. Ooh, love it.
I used to work in Tallinn's kvartāls, Tallinna Square.
Yes.
I used to work there. It's a great place, and it's also very LGBT friendly.
Wait, Tallinna's kvartāls is the one in the, you mean in the whole street or the specific one?
Oh, the one that is there's a lot of graffiti on the walls, garages and stuff.
But it's how the whole area is called, right? Or?
Yes, that's the whole area.
Yeah, there is one place we wanted to do this forum, but then in October the lockdown started and we had to...
Might have been Angars, maybe.
Oh, I don't remember the name now, but it's the one opposite the Meat Cafe.
Ezīts Miglā.
No. Not the Zitis one. But yeah, maybe we could check some place there. I like this.
But
this
that's a great
suggestion.
place, and maybe they could do it also inside.
But no, it's a good, we were trying to find something that let's say they could be for free, but in a way that people then buy the drinks. This is something that we can afford at the moment. But I think we are so into hey, let's make it again before officially, during the Riga Pride and then Lampa Festival and then during the Baltic Drunk Kings. So we're gonna have 3 mics in June and July in total, but we want to bring it back again, for the community and so on. So we invite everybody. When we have it, you will get to know where it is. Hopefully we have it.
We will definitely promote it.
Yeah. And you can also come and speak on the mic and promote the podcast and one of us, right?
We really could.
Yeah, I think you could and you should, but it's your free will,
No pressure.
No. We're just inspiring action, which is one of the other local projects. Actually,
Inspiring action.
Yeah, inspiring action. One of our motto is actually that every project we create or co-create is a story to inspire action, and I think that's drive us like a lot in what we're doing. And just to finalize the local things, we also have this hiking with Pride event that we most likely are gonna also bring back now. So going a bit outdoors, doing hikes with the community and getting outside of Riga, getting a new perspective and enjoying the beautiful landscape altogether. And we call it hiking with Pride because we started it back in the lockdowns when we could not parade. So we're like, we cannot walk in Pride. Let's hike in Pride. Back in the day. Then we recently had a local project made by one of our team members, one of our volunteers, Patricia. She initiated the project for mental health. So we had a psychologist, Lika, and we were giving actually free group sessions and individual sessions for the LGBT community. And we want to bring it back in some form. There is a lot of need about it. All kind of different local events. We had this Inspire Action, what I started talking about, the Solidarity Project. It was all about community events, camps, and people coming together. Our events also happen, majority of them in English because of having also some foreigners part of the community, but also some events are happening in Latvian. We also want to we want to connect like also with more parts of the communities here in the country. But the main idea, anybody can come and do whatever they want, as long as it's within our values also and within our objectives. Like what I like to say, if you come and you want to make a workshop about how it's good to be Nazis, for example, we're not going to let you do that. It's a bit extreme way to say, but everything else we're like super happy to be able to support people, create involvement actually of young people and their ideas so that they can find Active Rainbow being part of their, everyone is Active Rainbow. That's what we say.
So you have like a lot of volunteers in Active Rainbow. So anyone who's listening now could like join you as a volunteer if they wanted, right?
Yes, of course. We have an Active Rainbow volunteers community. We have a Facebook group where we mainly keep it for people who have expressed interest to volunteer. So anybody can come, anybody can join. We are open, we are accessible, and as I said, like for us, even if you participate in one of the events, we already consider you part of the community of Active Rainbow. Thus, like you have all the space to come and do what you want. So we take actions as much as possible to make this visible to the people and to repeat that. And then we work in two ways with our volunteers. So we have this volunteers group. And then one way is that, Active Rainbow, we organize certain events and certain activities. So we're going to make posts and call out like, hey, we need help with that, or support, who wants to do what? Or like, hey, we are organizing an open mic, who wants to maybe host it? Because I don't have to host it or my colleague all the time. So we take everything as a learning process. So everybody who wants to learn and grow and practice, they can come. And the second part is, you have any ideas, anything you want to do, any type of project, we are here. We can support you out. We can mentor you how to do it. And that's the exciting part is that we are very much flexible. So also our volunteers is not that they are involved all the time. what we see also, because there is life going on, partnerships, relationships, uni, work, people are, they're coming and going in a way. But then we see that, okay, for some things, some people are more involved, some other things, some other people are more involved. So it's here. It's just a matter of choice of people to join and do their thing. Yeah, I would say.
So join Active Rainbow.
I think it's very interesting that you not only listen to people, but you also give them voices so they could share their message or their support.
Yeah, that's one of the objectives of the platform. That's also like how I started. Like, I didn't used to be I never thought I would be an activist, actually, or that I was very introvert while I was growing up. Actually, I was like all the time writing all my thoughts. I was not so self-expressive. Or if you would ask me to interview, like, I don't know, 15 years ago, maybe I would be like, no, I don't know. What is this? Like, but now all the things that, like, how I have grown up and how I made choices in my life, because of course I went through depression, and I think I still have it, and it comes and goes in different forms. But my growth as an educator, as a youth worker, was parallelly happening with my self-personal journey. Self-personal is the same. Self-journey of understanding who I am, like in terms of my sexuality, in terms of my gender identity, and in terms of my whole identity as just Cathy. Like, I am who I am. And seeing this and seeing that there are people who can offer these opportunities, I felt like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to contribute in making this world a better, more inclusive inclusive world for every one of us. I think each one of us plays our own verse in making this world a better place. Like, for example, you also do this amazing podcast, and it's also your type of, I don't know if it's your type of activism, perhaps, or your way to contribute, to bring knowledge and the community closer. And then people are listening to the podcast, maybe they feel less lonely, or they're very grateful, and they're like, yeah, maybe I want to be like Anya, who's like Katrīna, And I find this fascinating, that we can learn all the time from each other. I keep learning from the community so many things. Without trans and non-binary people, I don't think I would have the courage or like the access to understand my non-binary identity. And now I'm thinking, I've been non-binary since the day I was born, but I didn't know about it. Like, I have no idea. But meeting these people, like, it really has helped me also. So it's more like paying it forward, and then let's create more spaces, safe and brave spaces. That's what we like now to call them. Also brave. It's not just for safety, but brave spaces where we encourage dialogue and people to speak up in whatever language, as long as they can find, like, even if you just show up and you don't speak a word during one of our events, for us it's a big success. Like, yeah, good. And actually, it's not our success, it's the person's success. And that's, I find, even more like, yes, like, yoo-hoo.
It's also a community success.
Yeah, and even if one person comes in our events, I don't mind at all, because what we say is that that not the right people, but the people who are meant to be there are the ones who are going to be there, and that all that matters in the end, at least for us or me. I don't know. I know. Yeah.
Okay, so in the end, I would like to ask you, what advice would you like to give to our listeners who are part of the LGBT community?
Advice. Good. I didn't bring my quotes book, all the... Well, I'm not gonna say just be yourself, because I find this also a bit like, just be yourself. But what the F does it mean? Like sometimes. But it's more like I would say for people to trust their intuition. Do you know what is the intuition? like this. Yeah, I think we all, it's
the one that told you that the 2005 is the right answer.
Yes, exactly that one. Like the first answer usually is the correct one for some reason, but yeah, it's not a universal thing. But it's more about like trust your intuition and your own process. Like each one of us has our own have our own process to understanding who we are, and also to be able to nurture ourselves. I'm not the type of person who believes in tolerance. I think tolerance actually, I don't think it's also, there is a tool that we use that promotes and says that tolerance actually is a negative attitude. We try to tolerate people for what? Like, no. But being able to, give permission to ourselves to be as we are, with all the confusion, all the different feelings, all the different emotions. Because at the end of the day, it's also part of our process, and it also it contributes to our growth, and seeing that our identity is not only just our gender and our sexuality, but we're so many more things. I don't know. I think trusting intuition that you are on your right path in one way or another, and then having people around you that they can be part of your support system and you can take care of each other. But first, how to make sure that you take care of your own self, because if you don't take care of yourself, then it's more hard to take care of other people. And being okay also to taking care of ourselves. That would be the second part of the advice, because just recently I thought sometime that maybe it was selfish when I would take my care of myself more, like mentally or physically, but then I realized one of my amazing mentors told me, hey, but it's not selfish. It's like it's about your fulfillment. And I was like, yeah, that's also true. Yeah, and like we deserve also to have and create all kind of amazing moments, just because society tells us, oh no, gay is not normal. Huh? No. Like, yeah, it's up to us, and that we have freedom of choice. That will be the third part. That there is always we're always free to actually choose. And at the moment that we might feel that, we don't have options, then we are not free anymore. And that could be a ringing bell to like, poop, 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 hey, something needs to change, something needs to move, And every simple action counts. So, people can just go for it as they want. And, okay, the advices keep on going now.
But it's
I ended up inspired, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should stop here now. Like, too much, But I think people get the point also, no? Like,
I think it's very valuable advice. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz Paldies.
Thank you for joining us. And
thank you very much. May I ask you also a question?
Sure.
What is your favorite type of activism, or like what do you enjoy in activism, or apart from podcasting? I saw that.
Well, for now it's podcast. Yeah, that's
lovely.
the main activism we have, I think.
I'd say for me it's silent activism, like just doing things that matter in the background and not being very open about it, I guess.
Lovely. No, I was just waiting to see if you were going to continue. So cool. Yeah, every type of activism is contributing. So that's really great. As long as it suits you, that's what matters. So in a way, anybody can be an activist at the end of the day. So for the ones who are listening, you can grab your pen, your art, your microphone, your silent protest. I think that's very important to keep putting it out there. We don't all have to be loud or going in front of a protest, and that's very much okay. That's what we also aim, like that's our message also through Active Rainbow.
At the beginning of making this podcast, we talked about that. Even if one person feels better from listening to this, then that's what matters. Even if we change one person's perspective.
Exactly. It's the same value that we have also. And that's really, really, really important. And thank you so much for all the great work that you're doing and putting your time and your investment and your heart in it. I'm honestly, I haven't heard the podcast. I told you earlier because of the language. Yeah, my Latvian is still very basic, but my geography in Latvia is very good. I like to be proud about it. But it really means a lot that you put all this, bringing also all these people together, and then with the podcast connecting people also around Latvia, because we do want to connect more with the community outside of Riga. We don't have all the means yet, but it's definitely within the year something we want to do, and maybe through you it can happen, and you are also, yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we are becoming one of you now.
Or we are becoming one of you.
Also. So yeah, thank you so much. I thank you so much for what you're doing.
And thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Okay, well, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Paldies, ka klausījies. Podkāstu veidoja Anna Zeikmane un Katrīna Berga.